Hi everybody, and welcome to the Hidden Vault, your favorite place for weird and wonderful discoveries. I'm your host, and let me tell you, we have an absolutely incredible lineup for you today. You know, I see a lot of amazing things, I hear a lot of wild stories, but sometimes the things that make you laugh the hardest, the things that make you say, no way, that did not just happen, well, those often come from our furry, feathered, or finned friends. Animals are just naturally hilarious, aren't they? They don't have writers, they don't rehearse, they just... And that authenticity, that's comedy gold. We've been busy, like little digital squirrels, gathering the best, the funniest, the most jaw-droppingly unbelievable animal moments the internet has to offer. I'm talking about clips that will make you snort laugh. And hey, no judgment here, this is a safe space for snorters. We've got animals who seem to have forgotten what species they belong to, animals with surprising talents, and animals who are just, bless their hearts, having a bit of a clumsy day. It's a whole menagerie of mirth. A veritable zoo of zaniness. So, I want you to get comfortable. Maybe grab a snack, but nothing you'll choke on when you're laughing, okay? Safety first, even when hilarity ensues. We're about to dive into a world where goats scream like movie stars, penguins lay down the law with a flipper slap, and parrots have, shall we say, vocabularies. You are not going to believe your eyes or your ears. Are you ready? I know I am. Let's get this animal party started. Alright, first up on our list of animal antics we have a goat. Now I know what you might be thinking. A goat? Really? What's so side-splitting about a goat? And you know, usually they're just chilling in a field, chewing on some grass, maybe giving you a little baa. They're generally pretty low-key, but this goat, oh, this goat is different. This goat is a drama queen. This goat didn't just read the script for Goat Life 101, it decided to rewrite it with a major plot twist, probably involving a lot of unexpected vocalizations. Imagine this. A peaceful farm scene, maybe some chickens clucking, a gentle breeze rustling through the trees. You see this goat looking perfectly normal, perfectly innocent. You might even think, "Aw, what a sweet, unassuming creature." But then, it opens its mouth. And what comes out is not the gentle bleat you'd expect. Oh no, it's not a ba or a ma, it's something else entirely. Something that makes you jump and then immediately burst out laughing because it's so utterly unexpected from a creature of its, well, goatness. This goat, my friends, screams. Next up, we're heading to the icy plains of Antarctica, or maybe a particularly dramatic zoo enclosure. You know, penguins, adorable, waddling, always dressed in their little tuxedos. They seem so polite, so orderly. You see them in documentaries, marching in lines, taking care of their little fluffy chicks. You think, "Aw, they're so sophisticated." But let me tell you, even in the world of black and white, things can get heated. And sometimes, just sometimes, a penguin has had enough. Picture this, a colony of penguins, lots of them milling about, doing their penguin things. Maybe there's a bit of squawking, a bit of preening, and then you spot him. One penguin, let's call him Pierre, notices another penguin, let's call him Pablo, getting a little too close to his lady friend. You know, maybe Pablo is showing off his best pebble or doing a particularly suave waddle. Pierre is not having it, not one bit. He's watching, he's assessing, and you can almost see the little cartoon steam coming out of his ears. And then, it happens. No warning, no formal declaration of a duel. Pierre just waddles right up to Pablo, who's probably mid-flirt, completely oblivious to the impending doom. And BAM! Pierre delivers a swift, decisive slap with his flipper, right across Pablo's face, or beak. Alright, let's travel to the beautiful island of Bali, Indonesia. Sunshine, temples, gorgeous beaches, and monkeys. Lots and lots of monkeys. And these aren't just any monkeys, mind you. These monkeys are smart. Too smart, some might say. They've basically developed their own little economy. A system of trade that would make any economist raise an eyebrow. And what's their currency? Well, it involves your sunglasses, your hat, maybe even your phone. Imagine you're strolling through a scenic temple, taking in the sights, feeling all zen. You've got your cool sunglasses on, maybe a nice hat to keep the sun off. Suddenly a furry little blur, and poof, your sunglasses are gone, snatched right off your face by a nimble little primate with a mischievous glint in its eye. These monkeys are like tiny furry ninjas. They're quick, they're agile, and they know exactly what they're doing. They've got this down to a science. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. The monkey doesn't just run off with your stuff and disappear into the trees, laughing maniacally, though I'm sure there's some internal monkey laughter happening. Oh no, it sits there, just out of reach, holding your prized possession hostage. Chapter 4, Cockatoo Got Moves. This bird's a dancing machine. Get ready to meet a bird that has more rhythm than I do after 3 cups of coffee and a pep talk from Twitch. We're talking about a dancing cockatoo. And I don't just mean a little head bobbing, I mean full out, get down, boogie oogie oogie dancing. This bird isn't just listening to the music, it's the music. It's like it was born with a tiny disco ball heart and feathers made for grooving. You have to see it to believe it. This isn't your average pet bird sitting quietly in a cage. Oh no. When the tunes start playing, this cockatoo transforms. It's like Clark Kent turning into Superman, but instead of flying, it's busting a move. The music comes on. It could be rock, it could be pop, it could be classical. This bird is versatile, and suddenly it's a feathered dancing sensation. Head banging, wing flapping, foot stomping, or whatever the bird equivalent of foot stomping is. It's got the whole package. What's amazing is how it seems to change its dance style with the beat. Chapter 5. The panda sneeze, heard round the world, and scared mom. Alright, prepare for cuteness overload, followed by a jolt of surprise, and then a whole lot of awe. We're talking about the legendary Sneezing Panda. This isn't just any sneeze, mind you. This is a sneeze that became an internet sensation, a tiny moment of panda drama that captured the hearts of millions. And it all starts with a very, very small baby panda and its unsuspecting mother. Picture this, a serene panda enclosure. Mama Panda is peacefully munching on some bamboo, probably contemplating the meaning of life or where to find the next tasty shoot. Next to her is her tiny, adorable, fluffy baby panda, just a little ball of black and white fluff. Everything is calm, everything is peaceful. You're watching, thinking, this is so relaxing, pandas are so zen. And then it happens. The calm is shattered. The baby panda out of nowhere lets out this tiny, almost silent inhale and then, achoo! Chapter 6. Dogs who can't catch, bless their uncoordinated hearts. We all know dogs, man's best friend, loyal, loving, and often incredibly athletic. You throw a ball, they leap through the air with grace and precision, catching it like a seasoned pro, right? Well, not always. For every canine athlete out there, there's another dog who, bless its heart, just can't seem to get the hang of this whole catching thing. And honestly, their failures are just as adorable, if not more so, than the successes. Imagine the scene. An eager dog, eyes wide with anticipation. Their human is holding a delicious treat or a favorite squeaky toy. The human tosses it gently, a perfect arc right towards the dog's waiting mouth, and whiff! The treat sails right past, or bounces off their nose, or lands on their head while they're still looking for it in the air. The confusion on their faces is just priceless. They look around like, wait, where did it go? Was it ever even there? Is this a magic trick? Alright, now we move from the adorably clumsy to the shockingly foul-mouthed, or rather foul-beaked. We're talking about a parrot. Parrots are known for their ability to mimic human speech, right? They say, Polly want a cracker, hello, cute little phrases like that. Well, this particular parrot apparently spent a little too much time listening to, shall we say, a more colorful crowd. Because this parrot doesn't just talk, it curses, like a sailor, a very angry, very articulate sailor. Imagine walking into a place, maybe it's a rescue sanctuary, maybe it's someone's home, or in some famous cases a pub, and you hear a string of expletives that would make a drill sergeant blush. You look around for the culprit and there, perched innocently, is a brightly colored parrot, preening its feathers as if it just recited a lovely poem. Chapter 8. Squirrels on a Sugar Rush picnic table, pandemonium. Next up, we have a tale of human ingenuity, squirrel enthusiasm, and the undeniable effects of a good old-fashioned sugar rush. Someone, a true genius in my opinion, decided to build a miniature picnic table specifically for squirrels in their backyard. Adorable, right? A tiny little table, maybe even with tiny little benches. You picture these squirrels politely sitting down nibbling on a nut. But then, this person decided to up the ante. They didn't just put out nuts, they put out sugary snacks. And what happens when you give tiny, already hyperactive creatures like squirrels a sudden influx of sugar? Well, you get chaos. Glorious, hilarious chaos. These squirrels don't just eat the snacks, they devour them with a ferocity usually reserved for a long-lost treasure. Chapter 9, Cat vs. Dog, the tiny kitten who rules the roost and the doorway. We've all heard about the classic rivalry cats versus dogs. Usually in a physical confrontation you'd expect the dog, often bigger and more boisterous, to have the upper paw, so to speak. But in this next clip, we see a hilarious reversal of expectations. We're talking about a situation where the cat, and not just any cat but a tiny little kitten, is unequivocally the boss. And the dog? Well, the dog knows its place. Imagine this scenario: a doorway, a normal, everyday doorway in a house. On one side, a dog. Could be a big dog, a medium-sized dog, doesn't matter. This dog wants to pass through the doorway. But blocking the path, sitting calmly and regally in the middle of the threshold, is a tiny kitten. I mean, a little puffball, barely bigger than the dog's paw. You'd think the dog would just step over it, or gently nudge it aside. Oh, but you'd be wrong. Chapter 10. The Laughing Seal. Did someone tell a hilarious fish joke? Last but certainly not least, we have an animal whose vocalizations are so unexpectedly human, so full of mirth, that it became an instant internet celebrity. Get ready to meet the laughing seal. Yes, you heard me right. A seal that sounds like it's genuinely, heartily laughing at the world's funniest joke. And it's not just a little chuckle, it's a full-bodied ha-ha-ha kind of laugh that is both bizarre and utterly delightful. Picture a seal, probably a big, blubbery, happy-looking one lounging on a rock or maybe at an aquarium. It throws its head back, opens its mouth, and out comes this sound. If you closed your eyes, you might think it was your Uncle Bob after hearing a particularly good punchline. It's so human-like, it's almost uncanny. You find yourself wondering, what's so funny, Mr. Seal? Did a fish tell you a good one? Are you laughing at my outfit? The sound is infectious. You hear this seal laughing and you can't help but start to chuckle yourself, even if you have no idea what the original joke was. It's like laughter is a universal language, even across species. This seal isn't just making a random noise, it really sounds like it's expressing pure, unadulterated amusement. Maybe it just remembered something funny that happened earlier that day, like when that seagull tried to steal its fish and missed. Wow! How about that for a lineup of animal all-stars? From screaming goats to laughing seals and everything in between. I told you these moments were unbelievable. I don't know about you, but I'm pretty sure my face hurts from smiling so much. And I definitely learned a few things. Never underestimate a kitten, always bring snacks for the monkeys, and if you hear a human-like scream on a farm, it might just be Gary the goat. Animals, they're just the gift that keeps on giving, aren't they? I hope you had as much fun watching that as we did putting it together. These creatures are out here living their best, most unintentionally hilarious lives, and we're just lucky enough to witness it. It's a good reminder to always keep an eye out for the weird and wonderful things happening all around us, especially in the animal kingdom. You never know when you're going to stumble upon the next internet sensation or just a moment that makes you laugh out loud. So, if you laughed, smiled, or said, "What the heck was that?" at any point during this video, and I know I did several times, please do us a little favor. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and definitely ring that notification bell so you don't miss out on our next batch of discoveries. This is the Hidden Vault, where weird is wonderful. Thanks for hanging out with us, and we'll see you next time.